You know, it's kind of nice to look around the base for a while and just see machines and stuff going constantly. Don't mind Walter. He really likes to swim. Even though I keep reminding him, are made of stone. You don't swim. We have a lot of our systems that have been running back and forth and doing a whole lot of stuff. I've been raising buffers on stuff, but I've also been like kind of AFKing, so things can run for a while. Because of that, we now have 100 stacks of mithril blocks. I'll take it. That's going to be running for a long time, trying to fill up that 512. Don't mind this hole. It's over here. I'm making up. I collected a bunch of syntheticite from a vein. But I have been working on various things. Number one being I got our Rosa setup going. And I think this should be good for us for a while. I've also built a decent chunk of our mana battery here. It's still got more to go. We have another stack of them in here. And oh, so last time I was playing around with this, trying to get it to feed water into there. For whatever reason, if you just place it next to it, it autofills. I'll take it. I'm not going to complain. But I've also been playing around with sparks and testing. This has been one of my testing experiments. Trying to decide how I want to do these runic altar passive setups. And I think this might be the way we do it. I don't know. It's tileable. It's literally just the 2x3 blocks and the impulse hopper. The battery doesn't have to be here. I'll just run conduits and stuff underneath right here. But it's tileable, so it's easy enough to work with. But we're going to try and set up some more of those today. I've got 8 runic altars. We're going to set up the first 2 tiers of runes as well as the basics of mana items. Oh, and I think one more big change. Our portal tower is gone. Someone recommended and I decided to go with it. The Ender.io telepad. So I went ahead and I grabbed coordinates for all of our areas that we have. So now I can just teleport to them whenever I want. Like if I want to go check on my excavator and Adam. I'm now in Adam. Portals are still here. They're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Where's my excavator? It's over here. It's off at the moment because our drawer is nearly full of oil sand. But so far, my only way of getting back is our portable teleporter, which only has home now. That is still very noisy. Another thing I've been working on, haven't done anything with that structure for a little while. That is going to be changing soon because we're going to be setting up an area in Eden that is going to be our farming stuff. But the other big change is our animals. They're gone. Kinda. So, we still have our random guys up here. Some eagles, a camel, and a moa. Don't ask me why I have a camel and a moa. I don't really know myself. And we still have our eagles that we've had since chapter 2. Are they chapter 2 or are they chapter 1? You can guess what I was working on. Chapter 2. But I finally upgraded. And we now have spawners for cows, chickens, pigs, and buffaloes. So I can now have them on spawners. Yes, I know, they're standing on top of the spawners. There's not a whole lot I can do about that except move the redstone controllers down and just put some blocks above them. But I'm really not that worried about it right now. There's only space for like 4 of them up there. And eventually they do just walk off. But that is a huge amount of automation right here because we've been struggling on feathers and we've actually been struggling a little bit on leather. But I still have this floor down here. We have some cows over here. We have some chickens. We have our sheep and we have our squids in the back. And we have our animal sewer, animal rancher that's collecting wool, ink sacs, and milk. So, getting a bunch of random things in here. The rancher and there's a ranged collector somewhere. The only reason the chickens are here is for eggs. They do drop feathers occasionally, but we're getting them from the spawner up there too. So, giving him an egg. That's been what I've essentially been working on here. I have lights all over the place. Oof, that was a lag spike. But I'll clean things up over here. You can actually see we've got a little bit of a wall here. I've added another solidified experience drawer up here with max upgrades on it. Just because you can never have enough of this stuff. But yeah, we've got our wall going here. Most things are actually pretty full. You know what? Let's give this a couple of upgrades. That one we can always use more of. Most things we're really not using, so like these buffalo teeth, they don't really have a use. This fertilizer, we're not using a huge amount of it. Not worried about it. But leather we are going through apparently. So, yeah, kind of needed that upgrade. Yeah, probably the biggest change here is our portal tower is gone, which means I do need to do my terraforming and beautifying up here finally. So this little set of structures here, for the most part, aren't going to be going anywhere. I just didn't like the portal tower here, and you can see I got rid of the dock. The structure over here will be changing soon. I am working on getting seeds, which means I won't need to farm all these saplings over here anymore. I gotta get I guess the wood seeds are the only ones I need for like the saplings that we're getting. So I think the maple one, we have nature. Yeah, we just need the wood essence. I just haven't made these seeds yet. I did make some grains of infinity seeds, but yeah, we're not going to be farming those anytime soon. But for today, we're going to be working on stuff over here. As I showed, we've got a bit of a mana battery. And it works very nicely. I can throw whole stacks of stuff into the mana pools over here. I've been using this one to convert stuff. And it's been working out well. So we have a little bit of stuff. I've also added things down to our wall down here, so they all have drawers now. These are all the items that we can drop into the mana pool to get resources from. We have our mana quartz, diamonds, mana steel, string, or mana infused string, mana powder, pearls, and glass. So we're going to set up a dropper system, kind of like we have for the atomic reconstructor. And we're going to set it up probably like right here, which is a nice simple spot for it. It doesn't have to be super fancy or anything, as long as I can get ME cables and stuff to it. But I'm kind of proud with how this looks. I'm thinking about swapping out this glass for blue. Like, look at that. You can see the thing in the middle there. It looks kind of cool to me. The chest will go away once I have the full mana battery in there. Still got a few layers to go. I forgot I have this floor under here. Anyways, I've got a few things to grab so we can get our mana drop items set up, including precision droppers and some like basic items and interfaces and stuff. I know we don't have the stuff for mana glass actually automated right now, because that is this Enderium hardened glass. But I'll go ahead and set up something for that somewhere. I don't know where yet. Got a little wall down here that we can fit some stuff on. That was another thing. I added a sulfur thing because I actually ran out of sulfur. And it looks like I'm out at the moment, but I have more. I just gotta go grab it from the nether. What do we have here? Iridium and Invar. I could probably add it to this wall to get our hardened iridium glass. So all I have to do is the iridium blend, or the Enderium blend over to here. Just have a like random machine on the side. Not that I like doing that, but I've got a nice space right here that would be perfect for it. Anyways. Let me start getting some stuff together, and I will see you guys over at the BOTANIA area so we can get stuff going. So we're going to try something a little weird here. We're going to redstone control these, but I'm going to do it via these redstone relays and phantom faces. And the way I'm hoping they will work, and I have them set up, kinda, is that these three will be here. And I have to remember which one is which. Let's see, we got Mana Steel. Guess I can do this. What did I put in here? Mana Steel. Okay, so you will be going to you. And the way I think it will work is that if I understand how these work correctly, as long as these relays are on the correct side, it'll essentially read the drawer. I'm using a similar setup. Where? I forget where, but I know I have this set up somewhere. I just forget where. Oh, you know what? It was the original design I had for these guys. I have a picture of it somewhere. I'll show it on the video. I don't have it up in front of me. But the idea behind it was essentially the same thing, and I was like toying around with them and the redstone faces and trying to get them to work right. And they didn't want to work right. So, but the other way we're going to do this is with another phantom face. We're going to remember where our controller is for this. I want to say it's like right here. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and we're going to attach a phantom face like right here. And we're going to set this ranged collector to the phantom face. And now I should be able to conduit right in. I'm not gonna like a look at that by the end of this, but you know what, that's fine. It's behind a wall. Now we're gonna have setups like this in a lot of different places. Our runic altar setups are gonna be a little more complicated to actually set up, but this one should work fine. As long as I have everything here set to the proper modes. Yeah, these ain't gonna come out pretty no matter what I do with them. Anyways. Let's get our interface set up and we should be good to go over here. And then I gotta go swap out a few blocks to get hyper diamond into a compacting drawer. We're gonna have lots of explosions over on the other side of our base. Let's go ahead and connect ourselves up over here. We have some logic cables in the way, because I want to say it's right there. I guess I can do that for now. And then you run a line to an interface right here that's going to get all our blocks. Which I have a couple of them I do actually need to add to our crafting, because I don't have them yet. Yeah, this is going to struggle to keep up, isn't it? Let's do like one of them at a time. Let it complete what it already has in there. I realize I put the wrong things in here. So instead of mana steel ingots, we need blocks of mana steel, and instead of mana quartz, we need blocks of mana quartz. And it actually looks like, because I think the diamond one is actually the one that uses up the most mana, it looks like our sparks and stuff should be keeping up with this for now. We have a lot of mana in our battery. You can hear our roses going like crazy up there. But we should see this stuff start to fill up our drawers. There we go, we already got a stack of mana quartz. And over a stack of mana steel blocks. 3 stacks of string. And we've got 3 stacks of mana glass. I am going to go ahead and lower this one. I don't need a super huge amount of it, because I think the only thing we're really going to use it for is for lenses and like a handful of other things. So mana glass, I'm not going to have a big buffer on it, but most of these other ones we are going to have a decent buffer. I don't know about mana string. I mean, it's pretty cheap, but for the most part, I don't think it has a lot of uses. Hey, look, I know that mask. Besides all these masks. Oh, okay, so it does have some uses. Snowflake pendant, some weapons. Stickle string? Oh. I think the mana weave cloth is where this is going to go the most. Holding agent, advanced crafting, we already got that. Arcane stuff, oh yeah, so we'll need it for some of this stuff. And for astral sorcery. Okay, well that one's fine. That one can have 32 stacks. That one's pretty cheap. Let me go get automation set up for these two. I'll let these guys run. And let's continue with our BOTANIA automations. I'm gonna watch these two to make sure their redstone stuff actually works when we get there. Okay, I gotta redo those. Well, I haven't even set up the redstone on these guys. Fun. I see we have a minor problem. So, drawers aren't quite full with stuff yet. I've had to disable most of them. Haven't done the hyper diamond stuff yet, but I've shut everything off. Our mana glass is full. We actually have a couple extra stacks. Mana pearls, we have some. Mana powder, we have a little bit. Our string, we're up to 19 stacks. Our mana steel and mana quartz are almost full. But I've had to shut it off because we've burned through almost our entire mana battery that they can reach. So, yeah, I've still got a little bit of a mana problem, but I kind of expected that, expecting all of this to fill the drawers. So I knew this was coming, and I know the mana diamonds are going to be just as bad, and they'll probably drain most of the battery as well, just to fill that one drawer. Because if I remember right, so Mana Steel doesn't take a super huge amount because we're doing it in blocks. It does take a little bit more. Yeah, it takes a good amount. Mana Diamonds, on the other hand, take the whole thing. So they take quite a bit more. And unfortunately, I think Mana Diamonds are the ones that get used nearly the most. I'm gonna AFK for a little bit, let this stuff fill back up. I'll turn the stuff back on in a little bit. And collecting all these random bits of XP orbs that wander away. I do need to put like some fencing or something around these so they don't wander as far. I think the only reason it's spitting them out so far is because the redstone stuff is literally on top of the mechanical users. So it like tries to put it into a block, which, yeah, Minecraft doesn't like that. But that's our mana items pretty much taken care of. Have an extra limited item filter or something? I don't know. As I said, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to wait for our mana battery to fill up a little bit. And then we will get to moving on to our runes, which I think I'm going to have all of them set to just one stack. Because not only do they take a good amount of mana to make, they also take the stuff that's going to be crafting over here. So, oh, and cores from blood magic. And empowered resources, which I've actually been struggling a little on lately. I increased some buffers, and one of them that it increased burned through all of our empowered Restonia, so I went ahead and I increased the amounts we have of the basic ones. So it's probably been running like crazy over here. Still running like crazy. Most of our empowered stuff is going to go up, at least the ones that we're going to be using for these runes and cores, like empowered palace. So our empowerers over here are working like mad. Mainly these two right here, and then Diamantine and Emeradic. Those ones seem to go through the most. The rest of this stuff isn't really going through a lot at the moment, but we'll get there. Our mana drop stuff is functioning over there. Not perfectly, but it's functioning. Let's go ahead and start getting the stuff that we need for the rest of our setups. Now we're going to set up a couple of these first because I need them to make the higher tier stuff to make the augments. Because I need runes of summer to make the dominant augments for each of these. I have one augment on the pool that's there, and I have two in the box, which should give me enough to make each of these. So we're going to automate the stuff to make the runes of summer first. And I think I'll have impulse hoppers automated. I'm just like adding random automations into here now. Things that I don't want to feel like requesting all the time. Add them into our interfaces here, which, as you can see, we've actually got a decent amount of recipes in here now. But we have a lot of space still. Now I should be able to craft these. I had to throw a temporary recipe for the vibrant bimetal gear in here because reasonable. Now I don't have any iron plates or vibrant alloy ingots. What is going on over here? I think my Emeratic setup down here is using all of our stuff. I don't have an exact idea of how we're going to lay this out. I just know they're going to be laid out over here. We have a total of 16 of these to lay out, I believe. So we're going to do them in 4s. And then what we're going to end up doing is giving them each a ranged collector filtered for, like, the 8 on either side. And one of them that we have that doesn't really fit in with any of the others is just the Rune of Mana. So I'm probably going to stick that over with the whatchamacallit, the Sin runes, which we don't actually have, we haven't done yet. Because there's 7, oh, there's 8 of them. Uh-oh. I don't know if I actually need to automate all of these. I don't know. But we're gonna have, okay, so that means there's 17 of these. Oh, that's annoying. It really has to make things annoying. Maybe I'll just add the Rune of Mana like over here. I'm not worried about that one right now. And I do have some sawdust on me. It serves a specific purpose for this, and I actually do need more. We're gonna take another stack of it. So let's go ahead and start getting our stuff set up here. I have a storage crate that has just a bunch of these Wands of the Forest that we're gonna need. Let's grab our first setup, which is going to be, let's see, here's the middle. We'll space it 1 out. We will do pools, and then we're going to move it forward by 1. I think I actually want to space that out 1 more. Which means I'll have to move this. And like I said, we'll just throw this one like over here somewhere. But we need all this stuff. Go ahead and do the elemental ones right here. So the ones we need for elemental are water, fire, earth, and air. But in general, we want the Rune of Summer, which is going to be fire and air. So let's do water, fire, earth, and air. Now what we're going to do is go ahead and slap these dominant sparks on those two. Slap a runic altar on top of each of them. And we're not going to sit here and walk through setting up each and every one of these, because they're all going to be essentially the same. Go ahead and slap these guys down. And I do have my wand, which I will add back into my Omni wand. And we want these guys pointing up like this. Now I haven't decided exactly how we're going to do item placement, because there's a specific way we need to do it. So these two use item on block. And they are going to be the ones who get a wand. And they're just going to perpetually be trying to use the wand on the block. Now the other ones, this is where item movement comes into play. So these are the ones that are actually going to try to place the items into the altars. And the point of the impulse hoppers, which I may just set up a whole row of them up top. No. Maybe. I gotta do this fun red zone stuff with them as well. There's just gonna be a mess of these structural ducts and redstone relays just sticking off the back of here. But then we're gonna do them into phantom faces, so that we don't have as much stuff showing down here. And the last item in each recipe is always going to be a living stone, and it will actually place it in the altar for the recipe. Let me go up top and set up the impulse hoppers for some of these. Okay, so the items we're going to need for starters are going to be mana steel and mana powder, which I don't actually have down there. And I need more limited item filters. If I have the stuff to make these, I'm just starting to run into random things that I don't have. Hey, we can make them. Alright, I have enough to do these two. So I've set up our phantom faces on this side. One thing I have not done is I have not set these up. And this first one is going to be the Rune of Summer. And the way we're going to do this is I'm going to get a mana steel ingot, a mana powder. Oh, sorry, this is to be the fire rune. And this one gets empowered Estonia. And then I need, for air is, I think, diamantine. And then I need some cores. Because we need the fire core. And we need the gusty core. And, of course, living rock. Okay, let's set up our fire one right here. So you get Estonia, fire core, and living rock. And the way we're going to do this part, we're going to set this to only hold like one of each of these for now. But if I put all this in there, I made this nice hole down here. So everything is in here. We're going to block off those 4 slots. And then it's going to be use item on block. Oh, wait. I forgot. I actually want to block off all of the slots. And it's only going to use the upper left slot. And activate block with item. And the reason I'm doing it that way is because this way it won't try to... I can't force them down. I can always just take this out of here. Is it won't try to add items to the recipe after it's started. Otherwise, items will mix. And this forces one of each item through before it finishes. We're going to whitelist Rune of Fire. Oh, it's only got 6 slots in there. Okay, that's fine. But the ranged collectors, I'm going to end up putting somewhere else. I don't remember their exact range, but you know what? How about we put it like right here? Nope, give me that. Okay, it's got his recipe. But with that, our runes of fire are automated. If I do this, we should start getting more of them. And what we'll do is we will use the levels in here to activate whether this block activates. Now, it would help if I actually set this to extract. Did I set this up correctly? If so, I'm going to turn this off until we get the drawers and stuff set up for each of them. Hey! Would you look at that? It's actually functioning. And it's a very small setup here. So I'm going to go ahead and I will disable this one for now. Redstone on. That one will finish. It'll end up in here. Perfectly fine. I'm going to go ahead and set up the air one as well. And then we'll start getting drawers set up for some of this stuff. And then figure out what we're doing from there. Our mana battery is fairly full. We've got the two of them set up. Go ahead and turn them on. I do have the redstone connected up, and it is actually connected to the impulse hoppers up there. I'm having to try something a little slightly different with the ones for the seasons. And for the ones for the other side. Ugh, lag. Because the range on the phantom redstone faces is nearly at its limit. I think one of these said it's at like 14 blocks. Yeah. Which means I think this one might be the farthest in reach, and then I need to put one of the boosters on it. So yeah, I might have to rearrange some things here a little bit. And then maybe I'll just run the conduits and stuff underneath and just put them on the back. Because this is just a block. So this doesn't actually need to be here. But we've got that taken care of. All of this stuff is ready to go. And this should give us a stack of air and fire runes each. So now the next one we need to set up is our summer rune. Which we'll go ahead and start with spring, summer, fall, or autumn, and winter. So for our summer rune, we're going to do same concept here. Just get it all hooked up. Items placed in. That's actually not what you want to connect to. And I'll figure out how to do the attachments for redstone stuff. It's working. I gotta grab this rune, add it to our filter on there. But once these are done, this gives us everything we need to make more spark augments, the dominant augments. With the exception of the stuff from the portal, the pixie dust, which I can just batch for now. We'll have to automate that as well eventually. But there we go. We got 3 runes automated. Rune of Summer. So our mana battery is looking good. These aren't using up anywhere near as much mana as I thought they would be. But they're looking good over here. We've got all 3 of these set up. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the process for the other 5. Well, 6 if I do that one right now. And then we're going to have all of our basic runes for the first 2 tiers set up. But we've done a good amount of stuff for today, and I need to get this video edited so it can be uploaded. So let me get the rest of these set up, and then I will see y'all in a little for the end of the video. And that's the last one I'm setting up today. This is taking a lot of work. I don't have all of them running just yet. I'm going to get these ones to fill up, and then I'll start running the others. We have a few other things we want to try to get to be able to move forward, and one of them I actually need to get the runic crafter and set up some automations for that. But in order to get it, we need Mirian, which is a pain in itself to get. So what I'm looking for with that one is I need this guy, which requires this Mirian to make the modularium with some smoky quartz, advanced Mirian ender alloy. But in order to get it, what is that? Corrupted light ingots. Oh, that's a ways away. That's star leather. That's astral. Or a ways from that. I was about to say, I heard something about those being used a lot. But in order to get this Mirian, we're going to need to set up an empower to make it. We can make it in the smeltery. I guess I could do it that way. Takes Terra Steel, Mana Steel, Elementium, and Cobalt. But in here we also have Thrown Glass. And it gets us some. That's what, like 4 ingots worth out of each? And then we get 16 out of that, which we can then use 2 to make the runic crafter in a Fey crafter. Let me see if I can actually do that. I have no idea what the scales are going to be on any of this. So we're just going to take like 1 ingot of each. How much do I need for the quest? Oh, just 1. Dude, there was a reason I still had this big behemoth in here. We can get our ingot cast out and see how well this does. Looks like some of these are going to take a minute to melt. I'll end up making more of this between videos. I don't know how much use we're going to have out of this Mirian itself. Beyond just making these 2. So we're going to have to... We'll have to see about that. And there's our first Mirian ingot. Go ahead and grab the rest of them, and then we'll go up to our alloy smelter and make ourselves some modularium and grab ourselves a runic crafter. Which, with the runic crafter, depending on how things are set up for it, I should be able to automate the... whatchamacallit? The elemental swale. Ugh. So for modularium, I need smoky quartz and ender alloy advanced. Go ahead and just grab 1. And for this smoky quartz, be too difficult to get. It's just cooking up some mana quartz. I don't know how useful smoky quartz is going to be. Maybe I'll automate that somewhere. It looks like it's just for this modularium. I don't think this has a super huge amount of uses, so batch crafting this might be about it. Oh, that's ender alloy enhanced. Ender alloy? Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. No, ender alloy. Advanced. There's our 16 modularia. Which allows us to get our runic crafter. Place it down near an activated glowstone, right click it with the output of the desired recipe, then supply the ingredients to an inventory below. Use a dispenser to activate the runic altar with a knife. and wait a few seconds while it crafts. It will try to output into an adjacent inventory, but if it can't, it will drop the items on the ground. You cannot automate recipes whose output is unstackable. You can also change the output using a mechanical user. Hey, it gives us a reinforced pyre. No idea what that's actually useful for. I think in total I've heard that we only need this for like 2 things. Like 2 or 3 things. So we're gonna see. Do I have any runic dust? No. Look at this stuff. Oh, just mortar and pestle with whatever runestone. Hey look, I have 3. And let's go over to our little roots area, which admittedly I still hate. We've got that stuff. Oh, I need another Fey crafter, don't I? And I grab my knife over here that we've had for ages. We have our first runic crafter. There we go. That means I can automate our elemental soil, get all these for, get these guys set up. Because we need those for the earthen cores, which we need for the runes of earth. Which are then used in several other ones. But that is everything automated and set up for today. We got our mana items. We've got our first 2 tiers of runes. As well as the rune of mana. I think that counts as tier 1. We've got everything here set up. Are you making an extra... Which one even is this? Rune of Air? Because it was on the wrong structural duct. I have to go through and double check these now. There we go. That's the last one it's making. Oh, there we go. Always something interesting around here. That's going to be it for this time, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. This is a nice, simple setup. It is upgradable later on as I get better spreaders. And better mana pools. I can swap them out. I'm going to hope this is enough for us for a little while. Now, I know they're not the fastest thing ever, but we're going to rely on buffers to help us with that. Now, look at that. Stack of... Well, I don't have those ones going. But we got lots of all of this stuff. Except for Mana Diamond. I got to swap out the drawer on that, and then I got to actually make sure it does it, because I know that one's expensive as hell. And then those runes of mana are going to be expensive because they're 2 mana diamond each. That's painful. Over here to our hyper diamond setup real quick. Must be easy enough to swap out. You are... You're going to drop 1 anyway. Yeah, let me get this swapped out between videos. I'll do that off camera. And get the mana diamonds filled up. But that's it for this time, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. I will see you guys next time, where we hopefully get a little bit more progression and we get another batch of automations, because we need to automate this stuff for the portal. I'm going to look into upgrading our setups here. As you can see, I've already added lenses to them. I don't know how much that actually upgrades anything, so I think the bigger upgrade would be upgrading these spreaders to the next one. So I think for that I need... What do I need for the next spreader? The Elven Mana Spreader. Runes of Lust. And the Dreamwood, which we already have. Well, we'll be looking at that next time. Maybe I make some of those and we can upgrade our mana generation. Maybe? I don't know. I'm procrastinating in the video. I'll see you guys next time.